Welcome to Domino Theory, the podcast about politics, media, and business. I'm Christian Whiton, joined as always by co-host Mark Simon. We're also pleased today to be joined by Kelly Sadler, the commentary editor for the Washington Times, who was a special assistant to President Donald Trump in his first administration. But first, the lead-in. There seems to be a growing realization in the world that Donald Trump needs to be taken seriously. April 30th marks his 100th day in office, and he has had the most consequential and frenetic first 100 days since President Franklin Roosevelt and his New Dealers in 1933 created that standard for a fast start to an administration. We see this with immigration, where Trump has replaced an intentionally uncontrolled border during the Biden administration with one that is controlled. We see this with the economy, where Trump and Congress have at least set in motion the steps to avoid an automatic tax increase and preserve the pro-growth tax levels Trump signed in 2017. He also has mandated more of the deregulation of his first term that helped spur private sector economic growth. We see this with foreign and defense policy, where Trump has ended much of the foreign aid that seemed only to make foreigners hate us more. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance have also given a stark wake-up call to Europe that its days of freeloading and mooching off of America's military are over. Trump's his willingness to negotiate with Russia to achieve peace in Ukraine also marks a fundamental shift toward realism in foreign policy. Finally, we see the world taking Trump seriously, or at least much of the world, when it comes to trade policy. Trump won quick concessions on immigration and fentanyl from Canada and Mexico in the first days of administration. He made it clear earlier this month that he intends to end persistent trade deficits through a return to the moderate tariffs that marked much of American history. He suspended those tariffs to focus on China and limit the economic trauma that any transition will entail, but he has made it clear that globalism is over for the United States. Japan and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent are hammering out a deal that should cement fair trade between the USA and our most important Asian ally. And China is so worried that it is calling America a bully, a classic case of projection if there ever was one. And as Mark has pointed out on Substack, Chinese leader Xi Jinping is having to embark on a charm offensive to places like Vietnam and Malaysia, governments that China previously would have expected to supplicate in Beijing. What a different world. Of course, not everyone accepts the need to take Trump seriously. I don't know what the strategy is for Democrats to win back Congress and then the White House, but what we have seen publicly is pretty weird. Many politicians in Europe seem to think they will make Trump blink on trade and security issues. China hopes that the many friends it has bought on Wall Street and U.S. influence organizations over the years will somehow save it this time from the looming economic collapse of its economic model, which required U.S. presidents to put America last. But we'll see how it works out for these holdouts. And that's the lead-in.